If everyone is ready, while I'm doing so, just send your charts in and let's see, if there's any corrections that we could be making and if we can make them better. Looking at the economic calendar here for the week. Yesterday was a slow day. Obviously, U.S. bank holiday. We had Memorial Day yesterday. So we had some data points that came out over here. Australian dollar, a lot of Eastern world countries over here. Australia, New Zealand, China, a lot of, Japan. A lot of their data came out yesterday. But other than that, it was a very quiet day when it comes to the U.S. dollar and any of these other pairs. We did get a couple moves. We actually got a few moves during Asian as well. I was not expecting that. If you go back and watch the breakdown Sharma and I did, I was saying you may want to just really wait for retests and stuff like that on the Asian session during Memorial Day because the bank volume may not be there, but we got a nice push during Asian session on a couple of our pairs I was not expecting, but we'll see what we can capitalize on today. Looking at Tuesday over here, what we got this morning, we have a lot of Euro, GBP, and most of the European countries, obviously. We had a lot of their data come out. We had CPI, the main one over here. If you take a look at CPI for the Euro, came out at 8.1 for the year, right? So rising inflation in Europe is going to force the European Central Bank to increase interest rates. So, Jamie, that's something that you want to pay attention to as far as strength in the euro. That could, you could play this up and just wait for the pullbacks and keep taking price up if they're going to start increasing rates. Just pay attention to what Lagarde is speaking, Jamie, and see all right, what's their sentiment as far as what they actually want to start doing. Do they start want to ramping up the interest rate hikes, or are they going to do it slowly? Or kind of start peeling back, kind of like what the U.S. is doing, but I doubt that. Okay. Let's see. For today, moving into the New York session, get some GDP coming out of Canada over here, which isn't too important for us. You have a couple real estate stuff coming out for the U.S. dollar that could affect it, but the main thing for today, I think, is going to be consumer confidence. Looks like we're expecting less than previous over here. Right, so not a lot of people are too confident about the state of our union, so that's not going to be too high, but it is above 100. Looking at Wednesday, big PMI day Wednesday, and if you guys remember, the previous PMI that we got back on GBP was not too appealing, especially services industry. Same thing with the U.S. as well. So that really needs to pick up for a healthy economy. Looking over at tomorrow, the main one is going to be ISM manufacturing service and ISM manufacturing PMI and JOLTS job openings. This tells the Fed how many jobs are out there that people can be taking, and is the monetary policy a little bit too easy so that people don't really need to be working? Maybe they're getting stimulus from the government, and maybe they don't need to be working as much, and they're getting paid more from the government than they are from the actual jobs. So now there's a lot of job openings out there, and now people aren't filling them because they're making too much from the government. What does that tell the Fed? That tells the Fed maybe we need to taper back on any kind of stimulus, and we also need to increase interest rates to combat the inflation and obviously tighten monetary policy as a whole so that people get back to work and start making money on their own. We also have Williams and Bullard speaking tomorrow, so we'll get a good sense into what they think after this JOLTS job openings and ISM manufacturing PMI comes out of the U.S. We'll get a good idea of what they think for their sentiment. So that should tell us a lot about where we're going to be headed for the Fed. There's been talks about them peeling back on raising interest rates, and that's why you saw that bounce on gold last week. If you guys remember, that key area we'll break down in a second. We had a nice bounce on gold, some bullish pressure over there, and that's because they were starting to talk about tapering back or taking it easy on raising interest rates so that it doesn't hurt the market too much. Looking at Thursday over here, we have a bank holiday for GBP. I'm not too sure what that bank holiday is. Let's actually take a look. Spring bank holiday. Okay. Observance of, I don't know what that is, but enjoy. We have an Italian bank holiday as well for the euro. We have OPEC meetings on Thursday. We have ADP on Thursday. It's going to be a big deal. Obviously, unemployment claims coming out as well. But this is a nice little preview. A lot of times it doesn't even match up with NFP, but it's a good preview into where our jobs market is, especially with ADP. Most of the checks that people get from their employer are ADP checks. So ADP has a lot of really good data on the jobs market, and they know exactly firsthand, where we're at as a country. So that's something that you want to pay attention to. Mester is speaking as well later in the afternoon, 1 p.m. But that's about it for Thursday. And then Friday, we obviously have NFP. It's the first week of the month. Guys, it's a brand new month tomorrow, right? So, and this comes into your trading. And what we were talking about, Jamie, how you come into the market with a clean slate every single week and every single day. It's a brand new opportunity for you. Completely independent on the last week. Just like every trade is independent, just because you took a loss, earlier in the morning doesn't mean the next trade is going to be a loss, right? Just because you're not doing so well in the first part of the week doesn't mean you're not going to do well in the second part of the week. It's all perspective, but it's all making sure that you're coming to the market with a clean slate every week. 0-0, 0-0. Doesn't matter if you had a great week or a bad week. Just make sure you're coming to the market with a fresh slate and ready to attack it, right? Or actually not really attack it, but just wait for your prey and obviously wait for your trades, stay patient, and take advantage of a lot of the setups that you guys are used to. But yeah, brand new month. Let's go over to the charts and take a look at what these monthly candles look like they're going to be closing as. If we're looking at GJ, you guys can see my screen.
Yep.
Awesome. So looking at GJ, obviously you guys know a lot of our historical levels. 156, you got 158, 160, 164, 167, 500. You got that previous support over here to the left, right? We ended up rejecting that level. Then we got the last tap of 164 over here before this candle flipped bearish, pushed all the way back down to 156, and now we're starting to reject a little bit. Right now, we're starting to retrace and close. Maybe we'll see how we close today. If we get a strong bearish move based on that data that came out, if we get a strong bearish move today, then we could very well close like a fairly strong bearish candle, and the next one can end up filling this wick and continuing right back down. Especially if all this stuff going on with Brexit and they're not really agreeing with the European Union. That's really affecting GJ or not GJ, but the Great Britain pound as a whole as well. But if we do get more positive sentiment, this candle ends up, we hold support today, and this candle retraces back up to this area over here and closes a weak bearish candle. Can the next one create a bottom wick, past the high of that candle, and continue up to fill that wick, right? Multiple things can happen. But looking at the weekly now, the weekly, we got that perfect, from what it looks like so far, that perfect range over here. We break out of the range. We create these highs. We come right back down to retest the previous resistance, holding support, and then we're continuing back up. We got a nice, strong, bullish candle close. Just move that. Nice, strong, bullish candle close right over here. Bottom wick forms. Flip bullish, close bullish, never pass lower the previous. We got the bottom wick on this candle formed, past the high of that previous as well. Are we continuing back up from here, right? Or are we starting to reject this level over here? All these areas over here, we kind of rejected. So let's see what that looks like on the lower time frames. Okay, so lower time frames, we came back down to 156. Right, we've been creating these higher lows since 156, but we've also been making lower highs. Right, been making lower highs, broke the previous one over here, but we're still holding structure right here. right? This whole structure, this resistance right here, previous support, but we keep rejecting this area. If you take a look at the current daily candle, this candle passed the high of the previous and is now flipping bearish, rejecting this whole area right here. Let's actually draw a little trend right here. Looking at the 4-hour, yeah. Sorry, just adjusting everything over here. All right, looking at the 4-hour over here, if you take a look, last time we were in this area, what ended up happening? We got this pullback, right? We were holding support down here and creating higher lows, higher highs coming up into this area. And then all of a sudden we get this short-term pullback back down to this trend to continue right back up, creating another high. And then we came right back down, higher low, respecting our support down here, respecting this support right here. And again, we were struggling to break previous highs over here, right? We were printing lower highs, but we were still printing higher lows. That's why it was so difficult to be trading last week, because everything was very 50-50. It was difficult. But right now we are creating these higher lows over here and pushing up into this area once more. But right now, current price action, we are now rejecting this area. We're now rejecting this support, or breaking this support. Top wick formed. This candle's flipping bearish. Could we be coming down into this area, filling that wick? Or what we could be getting is a further pullback into this area to hold support, and then we continue back up from there, unless we start breaking this support and continue back down. So I know that looked a little confusing, but again, you have this resistance. We could very well be getting a nice pullback into this area over here before price continues back up, if that does happen. But again, we could very well break below that support and continue down. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to close the office door. So does that make sense for everyone on the higher time frames, what we could be doing? Don't underestimate this whole area right here where we could possibly be holding support. But just take a look at this price action, how we tapped into this area one more time, and then we had lower highs ever since with these wicks. Price closing strong bearish wicks. Looking at this candle, creating that top wick, filling this candle right here, and continuing right back down. Maybe we end up reacting to this area right here, closing right there, right? And the next one creates a top wick, and then pass the low of that one, and then we continue down later on. Now looking at the 1 hour now. 1 hour, you have recent price action over here that you can use. And what it looks like we had was this previous support we just broke, right? Previous support we just broke. Definitely a key area over here to the left as well. And now what we ended up getting was a low created after breaking this area. We come right back up to retest this area. We're holding a resistance. We keep tapping into this previous zone range over here, but we ended up flipping bearish, closing bearish with a wick to fill. Top wick formed, past the low of the candle, and rejected this area right over here. So what does this area look like on the 30-minute? And can this candle create a top wick, flip bearish, and continue down to the low? Got about 18 pips to retest this low down here, and also, less pips to retest this low, this previous support right over here. So question is, do you want to take this yet? Looking at the 30-minute, All right, looking at the 30-minute, we actually got that bullish candle close, and it passed the high of the previous candle. So there's a lot of indecision in here. You may want to wait for price to break out of this area, especially if you haven't traded yet this week, you haven't taken anything yet. It's best to just stay out of this and wait for this support to be broken. Again, it makes sense on the higher time frames. 4-hour looks great to continue down. Daily looks great as far as rejecting this whole area. 1 hour looks amazing that we could very well be continuing right back down. But at the same time, you guys just got to be aware of the price action right over here. And you may want to wait for price to break that support and continue down. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So once we break that area right there, I could very well see us getting some kind of a move down into this area right here. If you guys could see multiple rejections right here. Resistance, resistance, multiple rejections. You got that support right in there. So once we break this support here, we could very well be continuing down. I see the 30-minute right now flipping bearish. So can we pass the low of this candle? Only thing is, like I said, maybe wait for New York volume. We could push through this area and continue right back down. Yeah, you got about 33 pips. You could definitely grab 10 in here, right, to start your week off. I wouldn't. I mean, all the fundamentals on your side right now are bearish, so that's good for you for any kind of sells. If you want to take buys, if you go up to the higher time frames, you may want to wait for 162 to break over here. Once you finally get that break of 162, because again, the daily right now is bearish, right? And we are creating lower highs. So are we going to respect this area and continue down? What did Sammy say? I like it if we break the 1 hour low. I think it makes sense, Sammy. Definitely. The only thing is, do we have enough volume to break through this support? Yeah, that actually does look good. On the 7 o'clock. That's up to you. If you want to take that, but you do have a very strong support and rejections off this area. Let's see the 15-minute, right? 15-minute ended up holding support in this area multiple times and pushing up hard from that area. We finally reached that area again with these candles, rejection, and a strong bullish close off that area as well. So you have a couple rejections in this area already on the 15-minute. If you look to the left, a couple rejections. This candle is now, broke the low and is now flipping bullish over here. So like I said, you may want to just wait for that close below this area and take this thing right back down. All right, patience is your strong suit, right, Sammy? Let's take a look at EJ real quick.
Of course.
Kick that back in there, right? Well, shock of patience.
Yeah.
Why is this not popping up? Trying to open your chart, Jamie. Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty cool. It actually opened up on the TradingView app. Normally opens up in an internet window. Okay, do not trade this. I like that. Looking for that break below. You're looking for the retest over here on EJ to continue right back down. I like that.
Sure.
I think for you also, Jamie, safe buys. I could definitely see you taking this too, but safer buys are probably going to be up here.
Okay. I was wondering about that because it looked a little crappy.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering, okay, right above this level, it doesn't matter, right about here, because, you still have all of this garbage here.
Yeah.
do I wait, until it gets above there and then take a little buy? I need to see what that distance is from here to here.
Yeah, on
If it's worth
138.
trading. Yeah.
Yeah. You also have this whole area right here. A lot of consolidation, but I was gonna say, like, if we do break and close above this area, and then you retest just like you did right here of that area. If you close in your direction and you got enough, how many pips is in here? Probably only, this is 22.
22 and a half. Yeah.
You might be able to grab something in there. Maybe 10, 8 pips, 10 pips. But this might be even better.
Yeah. And I just measured from here. So from the top of that area to this next zone is 23 pips. Okay. So
yeah, so you need to be trading in the high volume time like New York to be able to grab this. Right? For a price to break through that is what I meant. But I would definitely be waiting for the retest. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. So, but yeah, again, it looks more likely for us to get sells over here and get like a retest and price to continue down. Does that make sense?
Well, that's exactly what it's doing, brother. It literally dropped like 28 pips, and now it's doing that retest back up to that zone. It's ridiculous.
Wait for that retest, because where's your stop loss going to be if you were to take this anyway? All the way up here?
All the way up there, and that's not a valid stop at all.
Nah, you want the tighter stop loss, and it's right here, and you got that tighter risk to reward. You could take this all the way down to here, I believe. Let's break down gold, and then we'll go break down EJ as well.
You got it.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, GJ, stay out of this. Stay the fuck out. I think that's clear enough for you. Stay out of that. All right, gold over here. Again, gold getting that bounce off of 1830 over here. Looks like we're going to close back into this range and kind of retest this area to continue down, but we're actually closing above 1830 on the month, it looks like. Still a strong bearish candle, but it's going to be closing above this level. So are we going to hold support in here on the lower time frames and continue up is the question. All right. All right, this is interesting. Looking at the weekly, again, we have this multi-year bullish trend that we've been respecting. Higher lows, higher highs, coming all the way into this area, bounced off that area as well. And ever since tapping into 2000 for the second time, right, we ended up retesting these candle body highs over here and then rejecting, closing bearish. We've been in this bearish trend ever since. Right, so now we get this little pullback over here off of talks that they may not be increasing rates as much, or they might not be as hawkish or a little bit more dovish right now, just to see how the economy reacts to the current hikes that they've done. That's where you got this little bounce over here, right? So right now it looks like we're trying to form some kind of a resistance in this area. And if you look to the left right here, candle body highs to the left. And then if you look to the right at the current price action, you'll see that rejection of this bullish candle right here. Weaker bullish candle too, weaker body. Then we get this candle not passing the high of it, now flipping bearish. So are we going to hold resistance here and continue back down and retest the lows? Back below 1830? All right, now looking at the daily over here, Again, these lower lows, lower highs since 2000. We also came all the way from 2000 back down into this range. Previous support became a resistance to this range over here. And then ever since then, this has been a nice demand area, right? Pushing up. Right now, looking over here, this is that area that we just marked off. Got a nice resistance formed over here. Last night, it looked like we were forming some kind of a support or trying to hold a support. Only thing is, these candles are weak after bouncing off a strong bearish candle in the bearish trend. So you ended up getting a strong bearish candle right here. Price comes down, closes a very weak bearish candle, but then we end up holding a support with some weak bullish candles as well. So nice support right here. Doesn't look like it's got enough strength to start pushing through here and continuing back up. What it looks like is this candle's creating a top wick and starting to pass the low of these wicks, and then we can continue this right back down on gold. And that means that, and Reese, are you here?
Yeah.
So this is one of those times where you were asking me about trend lines and moving trend lines. So far, this is the valid trend line. That doesn't mean we're not, just because we're breaking out of this trend line, doesn't mean we're breaking the bearish trend. We could just be getting that deeper pullback before continuing back down. So
Like,
that's
yeah,
why.
retesting
Go
right
ahead.
and then coming back down. Sorry.
What's up?
Yeah, like coming up to retest that your resistance there and then coming back down pretty much. Right?
Yeah, it very well could do that. And then maybe eventually we start moving this thing out a little bit. Let's see. Hey, you know what? We'll leave it right here. All-time highs. Second tap over here. And now we could be kind of ranging over here, holding resistance and then continuing down. But right now we're just putting lower lows and lower highs since reaching all-time highs up here, right? And now we're coming back down. We created this low. We need that close below that area in the lower time frames. And we got to see what these wicks look like on the lower time frames for us to take sells and possibly continue down. I don't think I would take buys on the higher time frames until we start breaking 1870, right around this area. And you could possibly be taking short-lived buys over here into this area before maybe holding a resistance and continuing down from here, or we start breaking and continuing back up to 1910. But I don't really see that happening unless we get a lot of fear in the market. All right, so here we go. Tapping off this resistance, 1868, 1870. Ended up coming down and creating this low over here. But we have this resistance right here, which turned into a support. Price broke through it over here, but closed back above. And now we're kind of holding support in the same area. So is this kind of like a fake out is what I'm looking at. Right now, though, if you shrink that, you got price bouncing off this level multiple times, right? Support held, but we actually ended up getting a lower high over here of this current structure, right? This candle flipped bearish, top wick forms, past the low. And now we are, again, rejecting with this candle, right? This candle refuses to close below this level right here. Again, I want to keep looking at our areas over here and analyzing the current price action. We have that. I guess you could draw that right there. So ever since tapping into 1790, that previous resistance over there to the left, we've been making these higher lows. So since making these higher lows over here, tapping into 1870 up here, now we're starting to hold resistance, kind of like what we were breaking down on US 30 earlier, right? Where we're creating these higher lows. Now we're starting to exhaust, and we're putting a lower high over here as well. right? Now we're kind of breaking this bearish bullish trend that we've been respecting since tapping into 1790. So now what we just need is price kind of closing below these supports over here, maybe even below this one, if you want to wait for a safer sell. And then you take price right back down. Right back down to 1830. I could see happening. Again, if you want to wait for this, please do, if that makes you comfortable. 1 hour. 1 hour now. We're starting to bounce off the support. Yeah, see this, now that we get to the lower time frames, you're getting a strong bounce off this support right over here. Price holding support pretty hard. If you want to wait for price to break this area right here, that might be your best bet. Because once you do, you got pips coming all the way down into here, where you'll have a cleaner move. Over here, about 72 pips. So if you could wait for that, that'd be huge for you. Again, ever since making this lower high, we've been making lower highs over here. So are we just bouncing off here to grab more liquidity and then head down? 30-minute. Now don't forget too, we could very well continue to range in here with the current price action that we have, which is all pretty dog shit. We could continue to range until some of our data starts coming out this week, right? We do have consumer confidence today, so maybe we maybe we kind of range until then. Wednesday, you got ISM manufacturing PMI, Jones job openings, FOMC members speaking. Thursday, you got ADP, unemployment claims. Friday, you got NFP, ISM services PMI, another FOMC member speaking, right? So don't expect too much on gold or for price to break out of this whole range right here. Don't expect price to break out of this whole area until some of that data starts coming out. But if we get some good data coming out of the US, maybe expect a move like this. Right? Mirroring some of these moves over here to the left. But if we break this support right here, I was just telling you about, we could very well be coming down at least into here. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, gold's a little tricky. Does anyone have any other charts that they want to go over?
I'll send mine right away.
Yeah, I think yeah, Praveen sent his on the Dow. Okay. All right, so let's see. I want to see Sammy's chart. I haven't seen your chart in a minute. All right, let's go over to
My chart's very basic.
very basic.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You still want to see it?
Yeah, of course. All right, let's see. Again, EJ over here holding support. We still have some of our markups from the last time. Yeah, so we kind of drew that wedge last time, right? Price is really just kind of consolidating. We're breaking out of the lower highs that we've had. This like little bearish trend, kind of breaking out of it, holding support over here. You got like a fake out that ended up happening. Where it looked like we were continuing down. Price closed back into that range. We just took off from there, tapping into this previous resistance right now. And now we just ended up rejecting it. right? So we kind of got that pullback back into the previous resistance. Now possibly be holding support over here to continue back up and retest the highs up here. Got some healthy bullish candles. The only thing I worry about is this whole area right here. This resistance that this candle pushed down from. This candle right now is starting to reject it. Yep. Now, if you look so far at this resistance, get this candle flipping bearish and is bearish right now. So right now we're respecting this little bullish trend over here. Higher lows, higher highs. Are we just getting a pullback into this previous support and resistance to hold support and then continue up? Or are we going to start breaking below that area and kind of continue to range in here on the higher time frames? All right. Now you have now you have the 4 hour. You got that resistance right over there. We ended up breaking it, creating this or retesting this high up here, right? And then rejecting. So now we're kind of sitting in almost no man's land. It's tough to be sitting in here with a lot of this price action here to the left on the 4 hour. But this looks like pretty clean price action, to be honest with you. Right here. And you have this clean price action to the left over here that you can mirror. So if you think that price is going to continue this bullish trend since bouncing off 134, and we're just going to hold a support in this whole area right here, you could very well wait for candles to close in your direction and take this thing right back up. For the 1 hour now. The 1 hour looks like we're bouncing off this area. 136,800, we'll call this area. So 136,800, we're bouncing off. Does that mean we're going to take buys yet? No, because we keep breaking the previous supports. Right? So you don't have any buys unless that 4 hour, you start getting that 4 hour bullish candle close over here. You start getting 1 hour support price, like holding support here multiple times, right? Nice clear support being held and price continuing up. And then you get that break back above this area and price continues up from here. That could be your move. Looking at the 30-minute. All right, 30-minute is getting tough here to see where we're actually going to be heading over here. So again, we're holding support in here. Can we hold a resistance over here and retest this low and continue down here further? Because right now, since yesterday, we've been bearish off bouncing off this 138 level. If you go over to the currency strength meter, let's see what we got as far as the euro is concerned. Euro is pretty weak right over here. So if you go over, we broke this support over here this morning. Very strong bearish candle close over here. Again, the euro is weak because of that data coming out, the CPI data, right? So can we hold a resistance here and get that further pullback? I would bet that case over any kind of buys right now. See, 15-minute. You need a bearish candle close in your direction. Yeah, you get about 30 pips to retest the lows down here, right? So wait for that resistance to form in this area. Maybe you want to wait for a 30-minute bearish close, but and that's going to be, you know, this 30-minute candle is going to be closing in 4 minutes. So we'll see what we get. Let's see what we get. All right, Reese sent a chart. Love it. This is gold, US dollar, no trade zone. Okay, waiting for 167 to break. What time frame is this? 1 hour? 17 pip range. I like that. Let's see what we got here. Go back
So
to
there's nothing you would change in that, or things
yeah,
you see?
that's what I'm trying to do now. I want to see if there's anything I would change in here. Nope, no. Yeah, this trend line, you could be right with it. Can you just send me a zoomed out area so I could see down here? I want to see what you're
The
looking
one
at as
that you
far as
want
that trend line.
to
But you have the levels right. Right. I like the fact that you just put your support right here and you have safe sells below 1841 instead of having it up here.
Yeah, I had moved note up. Okay, I'll reset it now. But zoomed out.
Reese, you keep breaking up a little bit.
You hear me now?
Yep.
I moved my trade zone a bit. I'll set it in my new chart. Do you want me to send you the 1 hour again, or?
Yeah, send me the 1 hour. Yeah, send me the 1 hour, but zoomed out more and like all this price action, put this like up here so I could see the bottom left of where this trend line started. Because you were asking me about trend lines yesterday. I wanna like get those straight for you.
Yeah, sending right away.
Cool. And just like we were talking about during the session, and you saw on full display during that back testing session how patient we were when we weren't seeing our setups, when we were getting duds of sessions, we were just sitting there waiting and live back testing the trades.
Yeah,
So
that's like that trade that sell I took yesterday. Like I took in that around like just the 11. I was waiting like since New York opened, so that really helped with my patience.
that's awesome, man. Happy for you. Yeah, I'm looking at this trend line, and I want to go over. This is gold, right? So I want you to see this trend line that I have right here. This is the 4 hour here. Does this make sense to you? You got the candle bodies on the 1 hour, price bouncing off here, bouncing off here, bouncing off here, and now holding a resistance right over here after printing lower highs. Right?
Oh, so that's what I did wrong. I marked should have pulled it up.
It's all right. What you have here is bearish pressure that you clearly see, especially with the break of this trend right here. You see price holding that resistance right in this area, and we're continuing down. But again, I like the fact that you put your zone right here. And you said, you know what, screw this area. I don't want to take anything inside of here. I just want to wait for my areas up here to take a trade. And I want to wait for a possible move in here where you already have 70 pips. But even better, got a nice move down into this support right over here to the left. Make sense?
Yep.
But what you could do is put like a horizontal line right here, knowing that price keeps bouncing off of that. And once we close below that, you have a higher probability of price closing below 1843.
Yeah, on that new chart that I sent you, I mean it's pretty zoomed out, but yeah, I had moved up my no trade zone there. where there's cleaner moves to the left.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
Now, did you adjust your trend line, or do you like this one?
I know I adjusted it to yours because now I see where it's retesting the trend line.
Mhm.
So
Just keep in mind it's not as important right now because we need levels to break. We're just kind of ranging in here. So like it really doesn't matter. It just gives you another hint that it's like, all right, we know it's valid because we bounced off of it multiple times over here. Right. But at the same time, really doesn't matter until we start breaking these levels. But I do like what the higher time frames look like especially like the daily. That's specifically why you want price to close below that level, is because on the daily, you don't know if we're gonna reject this level over here. It looks like we're gonna continue down, passing these wicks and continue down from here, but you need price to break through that. Correct. Strong bounce off that level, Jamie. Yeah, nice pullback over here on EJ. See how we react to that resistance. Yeah, GJ, we may not even get anything on GJ today, and that's okay. All right, we'll get something plenty for the coming week. Again, we got a few things that could be happening this week. I do think we could get this pullback, deeper pullback coming back into this area and then continue up, or we just continue down from here. Weekly is holding a strong support. The monthly will be the question. How strong that monthly candle closes. So I'm going to keep it on gold right now because gold's a little cleaner. So bouncing off this area we were just talking about, very bearish trend, bouncing off of this trend line. We create these very weak bearish candles. This candle creates a top wick, flipping bearish now. Can this candle continue back down to the support? I wouldn't take that, but I would just monitor it. Holding that resistance right here in the 15-minute. Just gonna use the bathroom real quick. Give me 1 sec.
So how was your guys' weekend?
All right. Yeah, so you know what I found out about the concentrating playlist is I keep getting copyrighted on YouTube, and they keep like messing with my videos, all the live streams that we've been doing. They keep like automatically deleting them. So um I'm gonna try to find a concentrating playlist, like a copyright free one that we could have in the background. Maybe I'll look for it now. Yeah, shitty markets right now. Oh, before I do that, Praveen, we got a hard rejection over here. We were just talking about on US 30. I could definitely see during the New York session, stock exchange open, price continues right back down and retest the lows. But just be aware of this support. I think this is your range. I could definitely see price continuing down once this candle creates a top wick past the low of that candle. You definitely see it continue back. All right. Does anybody want to go over anything right now? Like, I don't know, Jamie, Reese, Praveen, Sammy, like, do you guys have anything that you want to touch up on?
For me, I would say exits, bro.
Exits?
Yeah, like
And
lately, bro, we have some reason I don't trust them reaching that level, and then eventually, sometimes like my trades will crap out.
okay.
So I guess you could say that I don't really know when the right time to get out is.
Okay, so that's a very clear plan that you need before even entering a trade, right? You need to know in the back of your mind when when you have a setup that's coming to you in the market, and it's like, all right, I've taken the setup before. Right before taking that trade, you got to go through that quick checklist that we talk about, right, in your trading plan. Reese?
Yeah.
You got to run through that really quick, check the time, check the price, check the range, check the stop loss, all that stuff. But at the same time, you got to know, especially when you're about to place your stop loss and you know where you're going to place it. It's like, okay, this is where I'm putting my stop loss, because this is where if price goes and taps this area, probably not going to work out. But it's got to be in a place where you can manage risk now. So everything's got to be very specific as far as to where you're going to secure or where you're going to cut losses, but then on the other side, where you're going to secure, right? Where am I going to secure my one position, or where am I going to secure my 2, 3, 4 positions that I'm using dynamic risk with? So like if you're in a sell right here, if you take a sell right here and you have one level that, or you're always looking for 10 pips, right, Reese?
Yeah, usually just a quick 10, 15 and I'm out.
Okay. So let's say 10 pips is right here for you. You're always closing one of those positions at 10 pips, stop loss at break even, maybe secure 80 and then stops at break even, or just close the full thing. The second one, let that thing run to your second TP. The third one, let that run to your third TP. Right? And see how that thing works out. Not a lot of the time, like it's not always going to, reach these areas. But some of the ones that do, when you have like, let's say you're using dynamic risk and you enter 3 trades, 3% total, that 1% trade that you have a 1 to 4, that 1% trade that you have a 1 to 4 on is going to be a 4% trade if you just let that thing run. It's not easy. It's a lot harder said than done. right? Especially if you want to secure profits. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, so again, it's a lot easier said than done. But once you backtest this more and more using dynamic risk, exploring dynamic risk, and then also going back into your previous trades to see like where could I have held this trade to if I just had that one little smaller position, you're gonna be doing pretty well. Just give it some time. Don't it's not gonna happen overnight, but over time you're gonna be able to hold these trades a little bit longer. Never
Like you guys, I also know you guys always mention like
Wait, can you get closer to your mic? It keeps breaking out.
Um,
There we go.
I also know that you guys usually mention taking partials and stuff like that, which I know you guys use magic keys for that, right?
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I haven't used magic keys yet. I don't have it just yet, which
Okay.
I'm gonna get because I know that it could help my trading.
Oh.
But
It
yeah,
definitely.
usually my thoughts get like cluttered by like, consolidation to the left. I'll be like, oh, what if it starts like rejecting this area on its way down or up, and my thoughts will get weird and stuff. So
I don't think that's a problem though, because you have that intuition with your pair, and you know, like price is probably going to bounce off this area. Like that's smart to have that in the back of your mind, but also stick to your plan with your trade. Again, like I said, it's a lot harder said than done, but you can do it. Just give it some time and make sure that you're practicing it. Just like anything else, you're going to get better with it. You know.
yeah,
But do not abandon the most important thing with this is not abandoning this 10 pip mark. If you don't abandon this 10 pip mark, because there's going to be times I went through it as a trader too, that 10 pip mark seemed too small at one point for me. It was like, you know what? I want to grab these bigger moves, right? And I started holding trades where normally I would have secured at 10 pips. I would hold it. It would go 12, 13 pips and then come right back to my entry. And then I wouldn't have gotten that move. And that happened too often. The
yeah, I
one thing
think that's what. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think that's what's happening. I think that's exactly what's happening.
yeah.
Dude, I'll jump right in with you. And you know what, Stephanos, I'm glad you brought that up because that has been an issue for me as well. Where I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I want 15, I want 20, and I'm gonna secure 75% at 15 pips, 18 pips. And it'll get up there, 15 pips, 13 pips, 16, and just come right back with like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Secured something at 10 and now I have nothing? Like, wow. Okay.
The cool part about trading and the thing with the 10 pips, I was just explaining this to Jacob before, not before, last night, that you can always count on being able to, not always, but majority of the time throughout the week, you can just about always count on at least being able to grab 10 pips per day, right? That's not too unrealistic, right? Some would say 20 pips a day if you're a swing trader or intraday. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really like the 10 pip mark because you see it the way the market moves, and I've watched it where this thing it'll go 10, 10.1, 10.2. It'll retrace, then it'll, do another impulse and it'll retrace. But sometimes you say it'll hit that 10 pip mark, 12 pip, and it just goes the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially on our pairs, GJ and Gold, it'll snap right back. So it's super important for you to understand that and knowing that it's in the back of your mind. And again, back to Reese having that exit strategy. With this, very important as well. But 10 pips a day is very simple and easy to get. And you know that you can count on that every single day. If you guys are looking to trade full time, right? Don't you want something consistent that you know you can count on every single day? So at least you have one position doing that. The other ones, let that thing run.
Absolutely.
Right? That 1-to-1 third position that you could have had could end up being a 6-to-1, and that's 6% for you right there with that one trade. And it was only you just turn that scalp into a swing. That's how you start doing that. But you do not abandon the 10 pips because you can always count on that throughout your entire career.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because I've had a lot of trades like Jamie just said, where like my trades will be up already, where I could have took partials, and then next thing you know, like it'll be up a lot, and then next thing it'll just go back down straight to break even. Like those are the trades. Those are the trades that kind of really get to my thoughts.
Yeah.
Like knowing that I could have secured, but I did something wrong.
I've been through that myself where it feels like I'm not getting the bigger piece of the pie. I'm missing a lot of these bigger moves, and you start getting greedy, and it's like, damn, and it's not there's no problem with asking yourself, why am I not getting these bigger moves? That's okay. That's what you want. It's like, how do I get this bigger move? How do I make more? How do I do better? And that's a constant question that you need to be asking yourself. But do not let that creep in and start making you abandon saying like my strategy doesn't work or my strategy I don't like this one. You're always going to be leaving money on the table, right? You're always going to leave a pip or two on the table. It happens, right? And there's always going to be trades that you miss. That happens too. But you always got to ask yourself, how do I not miss this trade moving forward? It's one thing to just miss trades and not even ask yourself that question. That's not where you want to be. It's okay to miss trades and constantly asking yourself, how do I get that trade next time? That's where things start turning the corner for you, where you're constantly like a sponge learning. You're constantly always wanting to get better. That's the path that we want to be on right now. Always just wanting to get better. Like if you guys played sports growing up, this is your new professional sport. This is your new film study. This is everything. This is your career. This is what you're going to be known as. So just study the GOATs, man. Whether you want to be the greatest trader in the world or not, study the greats. Study Tom Brady. Study Michael Jordan. Study Kobe Bryant and how much emphasis they put on film study and preparation and being able to predict everything. There's one thing I was watching yesterday, kind of off subject, but this pertains to you guys. Does anyone know who Elvis Presley is? I'm sure everyone does.
Yes, sir.
So, anybody hear about the new movie coming out?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, damn. It's going to be good. I can't wait for it. Did you see the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes.
Okay. So, this looks like I think it's going to be better, but this is kind of going to do for Elvis what Bohemian Rhapsody did for Queen. It, like, really brought the newer generation aware of who Freddie Mercury was and, you know, how talented of an entertainer he was, stuff like that. But, like, the thing with Elvis is this guy, and this is a different subject, but, like, this guy, any music that you listen to nowadays, Elvis has his print, is his stamp on everything because he's the one that influenced every single artist just about. And if he didn't influence artists today, he influenced artists that they were influenced by. Does that make sense? Like, he changed everything. He was the first rock star. He's the first dude to go on tour. He literally, I don't think he invented, and he won't even say he invented it. He'll even see, he's been on record saying, like, don't call me the king. I'm not the king. He took a lot of inspiration from, he grew up in the South, in Tupelo, Mississippi, around a lot of, you know, African-American, a poor neighborhood, just a white kid, very similar to Eminem in Detroit, and kind of harnessed that and was able to bring their music to light. He's very, very into spirituals and gospel and all that stuff. But anyway, the task of playing him in a movie is probably the hardest task anyone could do, because the amount of pressure that's on this kid to play him. And he was talking about at Cannes. Cannes is like a big film festival in France. That, you know, that's where they first see the premieres and stuff like that. They do press conferences, stuff like that. But I was listening to him talk about taking on the role, and he said he literally put his life on pause for 2.5 years to study, you know, every single mannerism that you would see Elvis do, whether he was talking, the dancing, the singing, everything. He was like rewinding and fast forwarding multiple little clips, even like this 1 second clip of him like doing something in a press conference. He was just watching it over and over again, so that when they would go and film, it was like happening. It was natural. He didn't even have to think about it, right? It was just like it came natural to him. So that's how you guys want to be in the market, where you guys prepare yourself so much that every time you're in the market and you see your setup, you know exactly how to enter that trade. You know how to secure that trade. You know how to do all that. Does that make sense, that analogy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just want things to be automatic. I like how we held this resistance here on gold, and how we got this bearish candle right over here. Didn't close below this level, but this candle created a small top wick on the 15-minute and passed the low of this candle. I was watching this happen and play out, and how we could be coming back down to the support. So I like that setup right there, especially on, this is what I was talking about with these wicks. When you get this bearish formation, these lows created, and then you get very weak bullish candles closing like this, expect like a top wick formed on the next candle, not passing the high, and price continuing down. I just wish these wicks were smaller. So now what can we look for? Now we're starting to break out of this area over here. You got 4 minutes left for the 1 hour candle to close. Oh, we still have this drawing there. So can that 1 hour candle close below that level? All right. Yeah, GJ's still sitting in this area. Man, gold is coming down. This is something I want you guys to journal, though. Only problem is this candle really doesn't have the top wick. We just passed the low right away. But I have seen this setup many times. Damn, what? Did somebody say something? Or is this just that push before? German officials. Where's that website, that KB Financial Juice? Here we go. See if something happened. I don't see anything. I think that's just like, sometimes we get that push before the New York Open. Now, when you get a push like this, expect a deep pullback. Yeah, right over here. Thing is, like, your stop loss would probably be above this 30-minute candle right here. TP would be right here. But the entry would have to be like right there, which would be like a 1-to-1. And that would be a little tough to take. See this snapback right here, right before the New York close, or the New York Open? And now right there, you're going to get that 1 hour close above this area. Hold on one second. I hate getting calls during So exactly what I was just saying, what we got was that deep pullback. And this is kind of looking like a liquidity grab before the New York Open over here.
Boys, I gotta
Forex.
get going for work. Sorry to interrupt stuff.
You're good, man. You're good. Have a great day. Hit those daily musts. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You guys too. You guys have a good day. Thanks.
Thanks, brother. All right. 1 hour candle did close bearish, but it closed a weaker bearish candle and rejected this area over here. This candle has no top wick yet on the 1 hour. The daily did create this low over here and did pass those wicks pretty hard. But again, we need to start clearing this level over here. This isn't enough for us to take any sells. Like, I wish we could possibly take a sell here if this candle closed a stronger bearish candle. Let's see.
I mean, did something really happen? Because EJ just pulled back 60 pips in 3 candles, corrected that entire move. I'm sure GJ just did the same thing. And gold just did that massive pullback too. What in the world just happened here?
Let's see. Government board member. That wouldn't be it. Nothing's popping up. See, that's why I want that Bloomberg terminal. Like, the Bloomberg terminal is $900 a month, but it gives you everything. Like, it's just tweets coming in. And you know a lot more than the average person watching all this stuff. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Financial juice. Checking this. Energy crisis is much bigger than that. Oh, well, Jamie, also with the euro, they're actually going to be banning Russian oil coming in.
Oh boy.
Coming soon. So yeah, so that's, where did I read that? I read that on, yeah, let's read this right here. This is the market update. I think this is it. Yep. Here we go. All right. Early news flow during the time zone was the EU leaders had agreed to oil sanctions on Russia. In brief, the ban on Russian oil exempts oil that comes through pipelines. This allows dependent states, basically Hungary, to continue importing. Russian oil accounting for 2/3 of EU imports will be banned. Germany and Poland will stop oil imports via whatever that word is, pipeline by the end of the year. Right, so that's gonna shoot oil right up, and the euro is gonna be hurt.
Wow.
Euro also has different things going on with Brexit right now. Let's see. All right, GJ actually broke above this range over here. 1 hour. 1 hour flip, or 4 hours flipping bullish over here. Again, too risky to take in this whole area over here. I don't like all these wicks to the left here and how weak this candle is. Do I want to take buys before we break 162? I don't know. But if you're looking over here and you're looking to take buys back up to, 162, let's say, right? And you think this is just like a pullback? Sure, let's see. Let's see what this trend line is. There we go. So again, every time that we've created these highs over here on GJ, we've gotten like a pullback, right? Check out these pullbacks here. Pullback all the way back into that area before continuing up here. Pullback right over here, right? We created a lower high over here, and we were creating lower highs, right? But we ended up breaking out of there, right? But right now, even if we're in some kind of a bullish trend right now and breaking out of this little bear right over here, we create this high up here, and we could get some kind of a pullback, at least back into this area over here, right? Before continuing back up. But right now we are holding support here at that previous resistance right here to the left. So can we be continuing up with a fairly clean move on the 1 hour to mirror? The only thing is you have this whole area right here that you got to be aware of. We already got these wicks in here starting to reject that area. Let me actually make this like this. Yeah. You got these wicks over here tapping into this area right here and rejecting. Right? So that's one of those times you really want to wait for a retest right here. But I like the little bullish pressure that we have. Right? Can we stay above here? Now, if you want, I would actually probably wait for close right above that area. Clear out of this area over here. You already got a rejection. Continue price up from there. Gold's a mess too. Let's see. Oh, Jamie, did you say there was a big move on Euro? And EJ?
Yeah, it pulled back 60 pips.
Yeah, take a look at this. You have an ECB member speaking right now. I expect a 25 basis point increase in July, but open to discussing 50 basis point move, possibly in September. Given record inflation. They're at 8.1 for the year right now. The neutral rate is closer to 2% than 1%. It will take around 200 basis points of rate hikes to get it neutral. Lifting rates to neutral may not be enough to contain inflation. Wow.
Wow. Now, what site is this? Financial Juice?
Yeah, this is financialjuice.com. KB told us from Sharma's group.
Yeah.
I think KB told me about this. Someone did. But it's good. This is basically what the Bloomberg terminal is. It's a mix between this and TeleTrader, which I show you guys all the time.
Yes.
This website.
Yep.
This website and Financial Juice is like a like the free versions of that. Dad was getting hurt today. Last week, see, we got all these rebounds over here. And I was coming off the heels of the Fed talking about maybe taper or relaxing on the increase in interest rates. Yeah, look at that. Damn. Bounce right off that level we were talking about, Jamie.
Yep. I mean, literally just slammed and boof. Went back the other way.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, I mean, up here, maybe if you get a nice close above that level here on the 1 hour, you wait for the retest here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If the GJ closes above 500, I think that'll be good to take us up.
Okay. Yeah, let's yeah, GJ and gold very similar. Closes above 450.
Yeah, 450, 500.
Yeah, somewhere around that 500 level. You also have this rejection, like you could always draw this like this, right? With these wicks over here, and then you would just wait for this
Yeah.
with a 38 pip range. You could take this up in. That's what I'd be waiting for.
You guys were talking about 10 pips before, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you were about to say something. I'm sorry. I think I'll cut you off.
I was saying, you know, like, when you have like a 20 pip stop, right? Obviously, I normally go for 1-to-1s. And I normally, like 9 times out of 10, I do get the 10 pips or 13 or 14, 15, and 8, 9 sometimes.
Mhm.
And I never take anything. I do go break even after 10 pips, but how do you deal with that?
So with
Or
this
watching a
stop,
1-to-1 so much?
yeah, really depends on what the RR is when it comes to your stop loss placement, right? Like you also got to just ask yourself, can I put my stop loss a little bit tighter to get a better RR? Now that happens with me with gold. Like I'm not looking for 10 pips a day on gold. I'm looking for 20, 25 on gold, right?
Yeah.
That's a little different. It moves faster. There's bigger ranges. I'm not going to be looking for a 10 pip when I have a 20 pip stop loss. I'm not looking for 10 pips on gold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really depends on the setup, the situation, the time of day, like what session we're sitting in, like how much volume we have. And when we talk about having that trading plan and having that little checklist for yourself, one of the probably the most important one is that stop loss, right? Also the exit strategy too. And if it's not valid, if it's not where you want it, and if you're really just looking for 10 pips, you got some smaller ranges on GJ, then I just wouldn't take the trade.
Okay.
You know. Let's see. Looks like gold's going to continue to range in here. Keep bouncing off that level. So again, with GJ, what we're looking for, I want you guys staring at the market all day if we're going to be ranging like this. What we're looking for on GJ here is not to really trade in here with this wick, all these wicks over here to the left as well. The daily doesn't know what it wants to do right now. Here. Look at this. You're sitting at a major resistance right here, and price doesn't know what it wants to do. You're also in a bullish trend, right? Actually, you're really in a bearish trend, but at the same time, we're bouncing off a significant level around 156, right? We're creating higher lows. But the thing is, can we break above this level over here and then continue back into our area right up here? Get that resistance right here to the left. Need that close above this level. Take this thing right up into 163,500 on the higher time frames. But the 4 hour now, again, the 4 hour is really rejecting this resistance up here, failing to break below. And it looks like it's kind of like creating a lower high over here too. See that? So yeah, we reached that level, but it's also still like the candle bodies are lower than these levels. You're also on the 4 hour. You have this 200 EMA that we're now meeting up with. right? Couldn't really follow it too well. But we're meeting up with that. You do have the 10 EMA right here, right? That we could be continuing. I don't know where my 50 EMA went. But we could be continuing this like bullish trend right over here, holding support and continuing up. I'm gonna stop doing that. Make the arrows better. But can we hold this support over here with this 50 or this 10 EMA and continue to push price up past our levels here at 162? And even once you break that, it's messy over here to the left. You have your resistance right now. Price is rejecting. That's why you wait for that little retest. Price is not holding that area. Again, just wait for this area to break. And then you get that move right back down into this area. So that's GJ. Yeah, no trade range. This is your trade range. 33 pips. Wait for that close below and take this thing down. Looking at gold. Gold is just ranging over here. You really want price to break out of this whole area up here. The daily past the low of these candles, looking like we could continue down, ends up rejecting. 4 hour keeps rejecting this area, holding that support there. 1 hour, nice rejection off that area, right? Last time we were in this area, we get a nice little push up into here. Trying to think if you have any buy potential. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to take any buys. I would stay out of this range, guys. I'd wait for 1870 to break. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Does anyone have any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Guys, remember, tomorrow is a new month. Wipe that slate clean. Today's a new week, right? Wipe the slate clean. Come into this week taking smart trades, being patient, sticking to your plans, sticking to your setups. If you had a great week last week, does not matter. You're coming into this week with a brand new slate. If you had a bad week last week, does not matter. Study your journal, study your trades, back test, stay patient, and stick to your setups. Stick to your trading plan. All right? And also get more out of yourself this week, right? Push yourself. Maybe eliminate some distractions. Start meditating. Keep those daily AARs going, right? And let's stay accountable and consistent to each other, all right? So let's have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. Oh, Praveen sent something in the chat for you.
Ooh, thank you. Bro, US 30, wait for a retest or now entry. Let's go take a look. I would see now that we had that resistance form like we were just talking about, I would wait for that close below this area. Praveen. This is that range we were just talking about. Right down here. This is the range I'd be taking. But I feel like we're going to get some kind of a bounce off this level just because we had this. Yeah, we could very well continue to consolidate, but I would wait for a close below 132,950 right here. Wait for that close below that level, and you can at least take price into here. But I think we'll be continuing back down into this area that we were talking about before. Previous key zone right there. Sound good? All right, boys. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Looking forward to it as always. And have a great night. Great day.
Yes, sir.
I guess.
Take care, bro.
You too, man. Oh, Lewis, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
I didn't even know you were in here. How are you?
Yeah, good, man.
Awesome. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, bro. Very good. Very refreshing. Needed it. You
Awesome.
guys too?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Nice little step away, but get right back into the routine and put the foot on the pedal.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow, bro.
Yes, sir, man. I'll see you then.